I do not remember the last time that I got to have a cup of coffee on the patio. My world, my life. A lot of things have really changed over the last 3 months, all of them for the good, except they've cut in on my gardening time. So I thought, while things are not blowing up, I would take a few minutes, enjoy some coffee, tell you about some of the things that are growing on and not growing on here in the meadow, and take you on a little tour just to see what the plans are for the future and spill some coffee. But if you're here because you want to see and be confirmed that everything is perfect and going well, then you may want to turn around, because just like spilling coffee, it has been quite a shift in things around here. And so I haven't done a lot of the things that I should do. So let's talk about that first. Number one, it has been 4 weeks since our last average frost date. That means I am about 10 weeks behind in my seed starting, but it's going to have to be okay. I am still going to start seeds. In fact, I'll be starting seeds this week, but also where I can't start seeds, I am just going to buy some starts. I am not going to let that stop me from gardening. I have big plans for the meadow, but I don't have all the beds filled up with soil yet. So I have to get soil in the beds. And I have some infrastructure things I'll show you in just a minute when we walk around, but I am just behind. And if you're behind too, then take heart, because there's always a way around it. There's always a way. Maybe you're planting something different. Maybe you're changing varieties. Maybe you're starting with starts instead of starting with seeds. And sometimes that just has to be okay. Let's start out on the patio. This is probably one of the biggest new changes for something here. I have rearranged it. If you've been here, we used to have plants that way and plants this way. Now I've moved all the plants down this side, the dragon fruit, the green stalk, my little patio beds, and then I moved the grill and the cooking area over there. I really like it like this. This kind of compacts everything together, and so I can get everything on one side. And we have our little seating area in the middle, and then the grill is down on the other end. I moved up to the front because something cool is actually growing as opposed to not growing. Check out our Asian wing beans. I planted Asian wing beans in the ground here in 2021, and I have been letting them grow back every year. I transplanted them into this raised garden bed last season, and they grew up and we grew onto this trellis here, and I've got to finish figuring out what I'm going to do for the string attachments on the trellis this season. But right here, we have Asian wing beans coming back up. And time will tell if they're all going to come back up. I didn't do anything to protect them this season. I just let them grow. The salvia has come back once again. This needs to be cleaned up, but really excited to see that it survived another winter without any protection. We have peaches already on. Kind of excited about that. Holy moly. Okay, now this feels crazy. I mean, it hasn't been but a few days since I was out here. I mean, a few days. There were no leaves on this. I'm kind of blown away. Same thing happened over here on the persimmon tree. There was nothing on this persimmon tree. Nothing that I could see, but clearly there were. And so I've got to come back here and do a little trimming. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this whole branch out, or at least part of this end out, because of how it's growing. It's just not practical for the tree. Holy moly, I can't believe that. This garden bed has not got anything in it, but I thought that was going to be spiderwort, but I don't think so now. I'm going to have to do some research, but I don't think that's spiderwort. I think this might be an invasive orchid that is coming in the mulches that we buy, but I'm gonna double check that. But I don't think that's spiderwort after all. Same thing for this fig tree. I was gonna get it pruned back, and now all of a sudden it's green everywhere. I swear to you, it has been days, not weeks, since I walked around the yard. There is nothing planted in these beds yet, except for what Mother Nature has planted. I gotta get those cleaned out. I can even see this spindly tree is starting to put on leaves. Almost done setting up this bed with the irrigation. All of this here, all of the landscape fabric is coming out, and I have mulch coming in. I have decided to give up on this because I'm regularly having to deal with weeds growing on top. Not weeds growing through, but weeds growing on top. And it turns out, as the season moves on, walking along like this in the rainy season, this is all mushy and mucky. If it was level, it would probably be better, but it's just not very good. And so I'm not really excited about that. The avocado tree has lots and lots of buds. I had hoped to get that moved this season, but that didn't happen. We even have some avocados on here. Pretty excited about that. And then I guess we'll just have to move it next year because it needs to be moved when it's cold outside, and this winter that just did not happen. Over here we've got the Vigo bed set up. They are full of soil, so there's really no reason now that I can't get some seeds started in these, or some starts even. Right here though, I have to show you, this is hummingbird vine, and I probably have no business leaving it growing in here. It's growing up the side of this tree. You can see a few seeds there, so I'm sure this is a seed pod. I'm sure that seed pod fell in there, and that's how that got in there, but I kind of want to just leave it for now. The native garden has a few things coming back to it. That water needs to be taken care of, but we've got some daylilies, we've got the milkweed, the native milkweed for around here, and that is something that fell out of the bird seed. I would guess that's a corn, would be my guess on that. So, and the meadow is full and lush. It'll be time for its first haircut soon. But I like to, when I can, let it just grow up like this and give a place for the bees and the butterflies to have all these beautiful Bidens alba, plenty to eat from. And it just creates a different wildlife place back here. It's really kind of funny though. When I first moved in, this was hard, compacted soil. 5 years ago, I could barely dig a hole. Now I can dig in, I can find earthworms. You can just see how lush that looks. I don't even water back here at all. It's just really exciting. Nature just takes care of itself back here in the very back. Here on Orchard Row, we have made progress getting some leaves to bottom fill the bags. You can probably see that the plants are still in containers. That's okay. Before I put the soil in, I'm gonna pull the containers off and get them rearranged. But I had help, and so I took advantage of it, getting the leaves put into the garden beds. I can see we already have some blueberry flowers coming on. And down here, the loquat that are all volunteers from Mom's Yard is continuing to thrive. And I even have blueberries on this one. This fell over. This one's even got some blueberries on it. So I'm pretty excited. It's just little steps or big steps along the way getting things done. I can see we're starting to get some growth on the mulberry tree. Oh, there's some mulberries there. Still have some more leaves that we can put out. I'm working on another video. This is going to be kind of interesting. Make sure you check that out. I'll be sure to link it at the end of this video. Ultimately, those beds, along with this one, are going to be over on this side. Those are all the frost cover bags that I had hanging up. In fact, I need to get those down before it rains. I was letting them dry out before I put them away. I did make a video about this, and so here's the short answer. They worked. They worked. They were not cheap. I think I spent between $9 and $20 per bag, but they did their job. Of all the things that I covered, I had very little loss. I had very little concern. You can even see all the new growth on this Cataly guava. The bananas got their hair cut, and I am saving all of this to go in the new garden beds. And I even managed to overwinter the peppers very unintentionally, very uncarefully, but they seem okay, and there's new growth, and I even see peppers on there. The sweet potato and yams beds are all retired now. I don't think we're gonna see anything out of them. I do plan, I think, to start ginger in that bed. I just harvested a whole bunch of ginger, pretty excited about that. Here's a little up close view of the banana haircut. So these got trimmed off. Oh look, we have bananas on. Woohoo! We trimmed these bananas last weekend, and so it's been about a week, and this is the kind of growth they've had since then. The leaves are coming up. Check out this one right there. It's pretty cool. It won't be very long before they look great again. Make bananas great again, LOL. Over here is a sweet potato experiment to trim or not trim. They ended up overwintering and they've already started coming back. So this bed, once it starts going over the side, I'm gonna cut that once it touches the ground. This one, I am not cutting it back. And we're just gonna compare how we do in sweet potato harvest with cutting versus not cutting. More Biden's alba here, but that actually needs to go back. The Biden's alba, you're supposed to stay over there. What are you doing over here? Lemongrass is in need of a haircut. And just general weeding. The comfrey itself, it just sort of lays down and makes its own little mulch underneath. This could probably use a little bit of cleaning up and dividing again. And check out the tabby bua, it's blooming. It could look a lot better. We could have done things a little differently, but we didn't. We kept it covered up too long. It did not get all the sun it needed before its blooming period, but I have hope now. And then back around to the front, happily, the petunias, no, the pansies have kept us happy with some color. And I have some other things I'm gonna plant out here as well. Hopefully one day this will be like a little tea garden. We will see. And that brings us all the way back around to the other side. And I have to tell you, I'm just gonna keep on growing. I am not sure how I'm gonna get it all done. And honestly, I can't worry about it. I've just gotta keep trying to learn something new, trying to get a project done, eking out a little time here and there. But I had to make the decision that I'm not going to let that just ruin my day, that I'm not where I need to be. I don't know about you, maybe you feel that. Put that down in the comments below. Do you have those moments where you're just like, golly, so much to do, I'm not getting it done, I can't get it done, it's overwhelmed? Well, the garden is supposed to be a place of joy for me, and it is, and so I'm just not gonna let the stress of all the things I'm supposed to do get me down. I am going to enjoy the garden. I'm gonna have a good time with it. I'm going to just take things as they come and figure them out. There's just no reason to let something that's supposed to bring me joy create havoc and mental anguish for me. This is my happy place. If you wanna know what is going on with those garden beds over there and the tests that I am running, be sure to check out this video right over here. And until next time, my friends, remember to drink plenty of water, wear that high quality sunscreen, and as always, have a fantastic day.